Welcome back to the Ace of Shade. Uncut conversations about life, love, and all that shit in between. This is your host, Shantis.
I'm Keisha.
And I'm Ashley. Welcome back, you guys.
Hi,
We are
wonderful
here.
people. Let me get
Doing it
situated.
again.
Whew, all right, I'm back.
All right, so Shan just got some questions for us. We're just gonna jump right into that shit, right?
Oh,
Yes, Shan just got some. Unless y'all want to talk about how the hell y'all been.
no, we
Okay,
did it all
I
the
figured
time.
y'all didn't. All right, so Shan just got some questions for us. And go ahead, take it away, Shan.
Okay, so the first one, I'm just gonna jump right in. Kinda. Could you date someone with herpes?
The fuck? I did not expect that.
I
I'm so
know.
sorry.
Could you date someone with herpes? Um, and if you do, or I guess if somebody had, even if you wouldn't date anyone with herpes, when do you think a person with herpes should disclose that information to someone they're dating?
Let me go first.
Okay.
I don't necessarily know if I would date someone with herpes because I'm not really
Into herpes?
I don't really understand the whole dynamics of the disease. You know what I mean? Like when is it transmitted, whatever. And I don't care to know, so probably not. I don't know. I think you should disclose it um fairly early. Before you get intimate.
Yeah.
I think I'm still shy about a question.
Right? You're like, what the fuck?
I'm just gonna read.
Jump right into that
Yeah,
shit.
let's
For
get in there.
me, would I date somebody with herpes? Yes, I would because I do understand the dynamics of herpes and how that works.
Okay.
So, however, there are conditions to this, meaning, when to disclose, like Ashley said, I don't think you should disclose on date one.
Right.
But I definitely think like if you're dating and it's progressing, then before you get intimate, it needs to be one of them hardcore conversations that we talk about, like, hey, and you have to be okay with that person. You walking away without the cooch or the D. When you disclose that information, that's part of the risk. But usually there's some level of emotional connection that has built up. So the person's a little more lenient if they understand the dynamics of the disease and where you are with that. But you have to be honest and forthcoming about that. So yes, I would. Considering that you're open and honest about herpes in your life.
I have a sidebar.
All right.
Just because medicine. Okay, so medicine was probably always there for things, but they have decided to make these things known to us. So we assume that medicine is progressing because now you can have HIV and take medicine, and to the point where it's no longer HIV is no longer transmitted through sex. So, yeah, let's not count on our herpes friends.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't know that was where that was going either. I'm like, okay, yeah.
I'm sorry. What is the message you're ending with?
Let's not count out our herpes friends. I mean, I said for me personally, no, because I don't understand the dynamics. But
Right.
I'm sure if
Okay.
they got,
So
if-
nobody else counted out, but Ashley's going to count it out.
Yeah,
it
because
doesn't
I
matter.
don't
She's in a
know.
fucking marriage.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. If you're actively dating,
Yeah.
you definitely need to know how these things are transmitted, and how it goes, with the risks that are involved. But there is a form of remission, and where it's dormant and things are well.
Yeah, and I just assume if you
Yeah.
can fucking have HIV and not get it, then shit. I mean, hell.
But I feel like I'm sorry, Chance, this is probably where you go. But I feel like herpes is considered, bad, or there's a stigma around herpes. Let me say
Very
that.
much so, yes.
Like there's a stigma around HIV, but there are people out here who have cancers, who have like autoimmune diseases that require somebody to care after them, or just whatever. We all have something, some little, more than others. So my thing is you always want to disclose the information to give people the option if they want to deal with that in their life. Is what I'm saying. No matter what your disease is, whether it's sexual or not.
What got a whole nother question?
Yeah.
No.
Well, that's good, Keisha.
Yeah, like some people have lupus, and that's a lot that come with lupus.
It is.
Like it's an autoimmune disease, and there's other things that people have, and you want to disclose that. You need to put those cards on the table to see if somebody's willing to deal with that baggage.
Yeah. I don't know why people lie. Well, I know why people lie so much, but it's just crazy. Like, why don't you want somebody who wants you, all of you, for you, But
because
anyway.
they're afraid of the rejection.
Yeah.
Because if you start out,
they're gonna learn about it.
Yeah, but if you start out on day one and you're like, "Hey, I got herpes," like,
"Hey, I got the herp." All right, this day
Are we giving it a nickname? What the hell is
I heard somebody say that before.
Like, if you start on day one, it's kind of like, what is my connection to you to want to stay?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Be like, all right,
but that doesn't matter. Let me tell you. Okay, I know this is a show, but I was watching this show on Hulu called Good Trouble. Y'all heard about that?
No.
Okay. So it's really good. Anyways, so the girl is transgender and she was a server, like a professional server at one of these big events. And the guy was hitting on her and he was like, "Can I take you out?" And she was like, "You don't want to go out with me." And he was like, "Why not?" She was like, "Listen, I'm trans." So this was day one off the jump. Before anything, she was like, "Look, I'm trans. See, I told you you don't want to go out with me." And then he paused. The guy turned around and he was like, "So what about that drink?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." And let me explain. The transgender person was Hispanic, or no, Latina. That's how they address themselves, identify themselves. And the guy was white. So I just was like,
that might be 1 in 30,000 that go that way. Just because all I'm saying is it would be wonderful if it happened that way. But there's so many options out here that I don't have to if I don't know you. You get what I'm saying? Like,
I'm just saying how
bad. Like if this is our first date and you disclose that, I'm like, there's 10 other people I can go on a date with who doesn't have that issue. So there's nothing that's really keeping me here. Versus, if you kind of wait and before you have sex, or please note, that you disclose that information, that person has built a connection with you. Like, oh, I really like that person's energy, their personality, got great chemistry. Now, even if they didn't know about the disease, they're willing to educate themselves because they like you that much. I know that goes for women. I can't speak for men, but I know that there are people out there who do that. So,
damn, shit, hold on, I'm sorry, we can't leave
no,
this.
Stay there.
So back to Good Trouble. Me and Twan was watching it, and the same show. This show is so open; it hits on like so many different levels. But there was a
Twan watches it too.
Yeah, by default.
Oh.
Okay. By default, like I was watching it, and he kind of watched it and got into it. So there was one episode, well, not episode, but the kind of situation was the girl, they live in a community housing. They in LA. Yeah. So the girl, there's two sisters, they move in there. And one of the girls, let's say she's a lawyer. And she met with a guy, she had sex with him, whatever. And then the next day, she seen that same guy kissing a man. Fucking a man. And so
they find that out deep into the relationship.
But they're not exclusive. No, they weren't in a relationship. See, they're not dating.
No, she's saying that sometimes they don't find out till they into it.
But the thing was, he was like, "Oh no, I'm bisexual." He was very aware. Yeah, he wasn't trying to hide. This is not something he's hiding.
Right. Like,
and so, the girl was okay with it because she has two moms. So she grew up in a gay household. So to her, it was not a thing. So my whole point of telling y'all this is me and Tom was watching this episode and he was like, would you be with a bisexual man? And I said, to be honest, if you remove everything we know, like diseases and how nasty people, and you just went from the person to the person, I probably would. I said, yes, I would. I said, but the fact that I know in my mind about everything that's going on, I couldn't. And do you know, the only thing he said is, Ashley. Ashley. I look at you different. I said, no, because be realistic. When you're giving this answer of would you be with a man that dates another man, it's not just for person to person. You taking on all you, and that stuff you cannot leave behind. You cannot leave it behind. So, I mean, unfortunately, we're unable to really disconnect in real life. But I said, for a moment, if I were to disconnect, I would have no problem being with a man that had been with a man. But of course, you know, ain't no separating in real life. But he just was so like,
what if the man is actually actively sleeping with men? Like, what if y'all are dating and he's currently dating men too until y'all become exclusive? Why are you looking like that?
because and you know, it's not even like. It really doesn't even matter that it's with a man. I'm
Oh, you don't want to date nobody that's currently dating.
Yeah, like I'm not. I have to be exclusive. I don't know. That may be contradicting myself when I say that. Okay, let's say I was single right now. No, it has to be exclusive dating. I'm not sleeping with you and you sleeping with somebody else and we sleeping. No, when we
finally have sex, it has to be just you and him.
yeah, like in this day and age, if I were single in what is this? June, what are we? August? Damn. August 2022. I'm not sleeping with you and everybody else. Hell no. If I'm giving up the goods, I'm giving up the goods with you. I mean, it's too much shit. I cannot. Nope, not doing it. I'm afraid. Scared.
Okay.
And you know what? And it's not.
I just assume when I start dating some man, unless he says, because men, you've been out for a while,
I have.
but men, they're everyone. I'm not even gonna say they are. Everyone is typically winging out someone else when they meet you.
Probably, yeah.
Right. They probably ain't been out here like not talking to nobody forever. And then especially men, they're probably still having, unless they say, okay, we're exclusive. They're probably gonna have sex. So I guess if you let that be known, all right.
I mean, I guess I would be okay,
Yeah.
if it's like, one, maybe two other people.
Mm-hmm.
To be realistic, you know you ain't the only one when y'all first get together. But like, I don't know. For me, the whole man on man situation, and I don't mean to offend anybody, but men are nasty in general. Like, men don't care. Like, they just date. They don't wash as much as women sometimes, and they just they just men.
So you're concerned with the bacteria spreads and
just the health wise, and because I have gay friends that give me the real. I'm like, did I want to know? It's things that I've been privy to, and it's just like, really. And I'm sure that's not everybody in every situation, but it's somebody in some situations. And they've told me, and I'm just like, dang, like I've recently have a friend and he's really honest with me about things. And I'm just like, is that what go on? And women can be nasty too and low down.
Women are nasty.
Yeah, so I don't care if a man sleep with another man or sleep with another woman. I mean, I didn't realize that women were as nasty.
Keisha, why are you making that face?
Because some of y'all women is nasty.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Like I just had this conversation with some man. I said, if y'all really knew like some of the women that y'all date and how nasty they are, y'all wouldn't date them.
I thought we were talking about like nasty sex.
No, nasty. Like you don't take care of yourself.
Yeah. Why y'all think the women be trying to come to the men? It's so bad in the women's bathroom that a woman would rather go to the men's bathroom where we know that y'all ain't that clean to use y'all bathroom. That's how nasty some women can be.
I just don't. If you, I'm the type of individual got to bathe immediately after sex.
Oh no,
that's me.
Nah, I have a friend too that she be like, I have a shower too. And I like,
when I know that it's complete,
we sitting there out.
Spreading them cheeks.
Hey, we sitting there, I'm asleep.
Unless I done had a few drinks and I done got knocked out. But
shit, the wet spot and all, we sleep.
I can't afford to do that. I'm too sensitive. I can't.
Oh, your skin and
I cannot afford that. Ain't nobody walk around with no itchy coo because I decided to lay there and snuggle up. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Check this with you next week.
Oh yeah, I remember that to me. Sorry.
Bring it back around.
Thank you. Go ahead. Would you?
I think yes.
Okay.
Yes, I would. Knowing what, like you said, knowing what I know about it, it does lie dormant for a while. As long as they're taking medication, they don't have an outbreak. It's really not transmittable at that time. But I probably wouldn't date anybody knowing like our first date, second date, some shit like that. Like they'd be like, "Oh, I have herpes." I probably wouldn't do like that. Now, if it was like, now I really have feelings. Like, all right, come on, we can do it. We can do this thing.
No, there's levels to vulnerability.
Yeah, and I think they should disclose that. Not like y'all said the first date. That's too early. I feel like, but before it gets
let me get to know you first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
And
you
then
out
you
here just
disclose
disclosing this information, and this shit may not even go nowhere just without you even saying that anyway.
Right.
So,
So
everybody don't
you
need to
want
know your business like
business.
that.
That's how I feel
So
about
just,
it too.
just date for a few, and if
Mhm.
you see it getting to the point of sex, then hey, have that conversation.
So wait,
Yeah,
so
'cause
we
then you
say
just let
that
people
you
in your
should.
business for no reason.
So you say you should not disclose having herpes early. Should you disclose the
I'm
whole
not gonna say
gender?
early.
Before
I'm not
you're
gonna say
intimate.
early. Yeah, I'm just saying before you're
First date, second date, right?
Yeah,
That's
whatever.
Not first date, second date.
Well,
Well,
I
hell, some
wouldn't
people
do
get intimate first date. So
I wouldn't do it the first date.
You wouldn't give it up on the first date?
Get what up on the first date?
Your panty draws.
No, I didn't say that. I'm talking about I wouldn't tell you.
Oh.
No, we talking about would you have sex on the first date?
Probably not, because I don't be liking people enough to.
oh,
do
Keisha,
that.
yeah, Keisha.
Like I have to have
yeah.
a connection with you, and
Keisha
I don't feel
just
very
be out here.
connected on the first date.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yep. The vibe. Yep.
So then
'Cause
they're gonna
it's
disclose the first
big.
date that they got herpes,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna be like, no.
I mean, that's not a common situation. I'm not just fucking on the first date all the time.
Oh, okay.
But I would. But I guess if they had.
So if you was about to
This
get
is
down on the first date and they said, listen, y'all hot and heavy, ooh, 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 and they like,
they almost in there.
and they're like, wait, I got herpes. What you gonna say? Nah, not today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cause I don't know what's going on. Like that's no.
You don't know that situation.
No,
what
exactly.
you got going on.
No.
Because let me tell you, a lot of diseases are transmitted. Okay.
Give me a second.
Let me tell you, this may be TMI. So y'all, let me just give this advice.
Nothing's TMI's, you know.
It be some shit for men and
Do I
women
think?
that heterosexual sex. It be some things on them balls that the men neglect, and that's just one of the areas that sometimes they neglect. And
Yeah,
then
they
that's
gotta
what-
get up in them balls.
From what I've been told, they
You gotta
neglect,
get up in
they
the balls.
neglect quite a few parts. And which makes a lot of sense when I talk to men about like their restrictions in sex. Like a lot of men don't want to do like butt play because a lot of them, some not say a lot, let me rephrase that. Some of them don't wash their ass.
Why don't
Like
they wash their
they don't
ass?
wash their ass every session. Like they with the water and they might hit the balls, but they're not washing the ass crack. Like,
Why are they not washing their
I
ass?
can't answer that.
Men,
I can't
if
answer
you're tuning
This
in,
is
let
news
us
to me,
know.
guys.
No, and so
Now, I know y'all
I've been
nasty,
told,
but
I've
damn.
been told this by a few men, different occasions, different, and they weren't people I was dating, but they were people that we were having these random conversations with. And I was like, that's why y'all feel some type of way about licking ass, because y'all know what y'all do with y'all ass, and y'all ain't washing it. And then you got on feet. Like, men like nice feet, but I'm like, why do y'all like some shit that y'all not willing to suck or touch? Like, I don't care what your feet look like if I don't want to touch them. Like, and they really have like foot fetishes. So I'm like, but they don't always wash the bottom of their feet. They let the water run, but they ain't washing the bottom.
Let's go
of
back
their
to the
feet.
ass.
I'm sorry.
How you not washing your ass? You
No.
shit there. Like, why are you not washing
No.
your ass
Every
session?
time you get in, what? Every
Like,
session,
and I was
yeah.
like, this is not.
I can understand. Well, I can't understand them not wiping good, but I hear that a lot. But
Yeah.
I'm like, but when you're in the shower, you should be washing
No,
everything.
they feel like the water just trickled down and
Ain't the
enough.
water ain't
And I'm
getting
like,
in that
no,
motherfucker like that. You
it's
gotta-
gotta be.
ass.
Yes.
You gotta be damn
But
near
I'm
bent
trying to know
over.
how you making it and not washing your whole body, that's feet included. Like, what's the point of you even getting in the shower? Just because you step on the water doesn't mean
Step on the
it
water.
cleans your feet.
Now, I can get with them. Maybe not washing their feet. That's fine.
No.
I can get with that, but I cannot get with you not washing your ass. No, not your ass. Because the water does. It can't hit it, but the water don't hit your ass like that. It's foot and water.
You gotta get up in there.
contact. Yeah.
You gotta
The
get up in there.
It's not trickling down. What the hell? Because you gotta spread the cheeks and bit.
I just heard on a podcast that you have two holes,
Who, the men or the women?
assholes. Like, okay, they're not necessarily two assholes. I keep
Where are we
saying
going with this?
but you have like two. Oh, what they call them? I heard on like Kev on stage podcast. Maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was to hear. But anyway, and talking to this girl or something. I don't know. Anyway, I heard it. And I forgot to research it because I just heard it yesterday. But yeah, you have two.
Who is you, men or women?
Everyone.
Oh, okay.
Has like two openings. They're not two assholes, but there's like
Top
two
and the bottom.
openings. Because the girl was like, "Do you watch both openings?" Like talking to the man. And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Who knew we had two openings?" They was like, "I ain't know. I wasn't gonna say nothing, but I don't know. I didn't know that, so I don't know. I have to do more research on it." But she's like, openings. I forgot what they're
that.
called. She called them something, but
I can accept that if you ever stuck a suppository up your ass or something like that. You know, you can kind of.
Everything on your body, from your
just
face
wash it
to your toes,
Just
Wash
it.
that
Yes.
needs to
shit.
be washed with soap.
Well, not your vagina.
You still need to wash the outside of your vagina. You don't have to go in the vagina, but you need to wash the lips because a little pee, a little sweat.
Yeah, I'm talking about with the soap.
Yeah, no, you can wash the outside of the vagina with the soap. Now, don't go up in your hole, but I'm just saying, you know, it needs a little TLC too.
Well, let me tell you, I can't wash my vagina with soap.
We don't. What's next question?
No, for real, I have to use like coconut.
You told us.
What do you have to use, Ashley?
No,
Keep it talking about.
no, because I have been battling with the soap thing. Me or my youngest daughter. Soap, she'll tell my vagina burn. I'm like, what is going on? And she cannot that soap, and we be trying to use a sensitive skin. Duh.
I'm talking about. She said she's talking about her vagina.
Yeah, she said her vagina. She says vagina. My vagina burns.
Oh, I thought you were talking about you said that, and I'm like,
oh,
so your vagina talks now?
No, my 3.
Okay, I was very confused. Okay.
So, look, coconut oil is antimicrobial. You know what I'm saying? Sorry.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. Anytime. So, next.
Really trying to move on, guys. Anyway, why do y'all think the talking stage lasts so long in our culture versus other races?
I don't know that it does.
What the fuck? You should be making these love.
Because we ain't no good.
Damn.
Like other people, they just know what they want. Other races be like, okay, we dating with a purpose.
How do we know that other races do that?
No, we do.
We do.
But what I will say is that
We do.
other races are taught the value of marriage. They understand that there's asset building when you get married.
Mm-hmm.
Black people have been taught to be independent, both men and women, and that you have to build before you get together. And we don't realize that you'll be building forever. And so, two, that's one about marriage. And then two is that we just are like a culture of dating and non-committal. But we want commitment, but nobody wants to put themselves out there for fear of being hurt or look like an idiot. But love is a risk. Everything is a risk. Walking out your house every day is a risk.
Damn.
So here we are.
Keisha, that's perfectly put. That's really my thoughts.
On
all that, I think that's exactly why.
You know what?
That's
And
exactly
I'm like,
why
damn, I do tell my 13-year-old, I be trying to teach him how to cook on his own, how to clean, wash clothes. So I am teaching him to be like independent for himself. So.
Which is okay. You want those skills, but we have to teach each other to be interdependent because there's a place for a man in your life. There's a place for a woman. Everybody has a role to play. Even if the roles get a little flipped, you still have a purpose. We've been taught that we don't need each other, and we do. And we're out here just.
So think about your upbringing specifically. Like, what were you taught about, or what, if you weren't taught, what did you see? What did you learn on your own about relationships? And
oh yes,
I don't know.
Both of y'all, like,
because I'm thinking.
Okay, well, I wasn't taught anything specifically about
I was thinking
relationships.
it too.
Honestly, nothing was said like, "Oh, this man gonna try." No game. I wasn't giving any game. I wasn't giving any. Okay, your purpose is being a wife. I wasn't giving that. I wasn't giving. Okay, go out and get your bag. I wasn't. I just watched. I guess and learned that way.
Which is a form of teaching too.
So what did you see? What did you learn through watching your mom?
That niggas ain't shit. That niggas ain't shit, and I guess
you gotta get it for yourself, right?
Yeah, because I always was in her bag. So it's kind of like, niggas ain't shit. You got to depend on yourself. You gotta do what it do. You got to go out here, grind, and do it on your own because you can't depend on no nigga. That's pretty much.
Damn. You had a 2-parent home sometimes.
Yeah.
You said sometimes? Yeah, sometimes. What I was taught, maybe not verbally I speak what she said first. Verbally was always get your education, always have some money, always have your own account, even when you get married, to have some money. You never want to be in a position where you can't leave that. You have to stay because this person is your financial winner. That was one. Okay. The other part, indirectly, of what I was saying, my mother was always a go-getter. She always made it happen. Like always made it happen. So that taught me as a woman, like when it's like a superpower. Like, and I don't always know if it's a good one. Like being in a relationship, I always made shit happen. Like it could be some weird ass shit or weird ass request that he had. It always got done. I'm like, bitch, how you do that shit? Because it's like a superpower. So I'm like, she always got it done. But what I learned that I wish I didn't learn is that love has to be a struggle. Like you have to experience the bad before you can have good. And don't I understand that there's bad in love and relationships, but you don't have to struggle to get to the good. It's like, oh, well, that person sucks, but if we keep at this, they'll get better. And I'm like, no. Now I'm just like, you suck all the way through, and I ain't got time to figure out if you're gonna get better. Like, I just don't want to. So I had to unlearn that because before my dad got on the path of righteousness, if I was the woman dating him, I probably would have left. So I'm just gonna say that. I just probably would have left. But yeah. So
I see there's a thing. Everybody's mother made it happen. And that is the culture of the black woman. They gonna make it happen. Like they're not about to depend on nobody, they're not about to wait on nobody. Some of the black women. They just about to get it done. Like they're not about to complain about it. So same thing with my mom. My mom did what she had to do. She was very passive aggressive. Me now thinking with my father who was there, I guess. I don't know. As I get older, I learn things about him, and I'm like, oh, shit makes so much more sense now. But yeah, my mother put up with a lot. And sometimes I feel like because she did, that's something I learned to like you say, struggle, endure the shit that you necessarily don't want to endure just because I don't know. So I mean, you want to keep your family together. You want to make sure that your children know their father. So I don't know.
Like now as my parents are older, my dad is like the leader of the family, and my mom has taken a back seat. So I get to see, which is I'm happy to see. I get to see what it was supposed to always look like, which is kind of why I feel the way that I feel for both sides. Because I'm like, yeah, I can make it happen, but I don't want to. Like I want you to do that. Like call me when you need me, and I'm here for support. I'm here to like nurture you, love you, but I want to be the girl. Like I don't want to worry about this. Like how we gonna pay the bill? That's you.
Roles has reversed in my parents' home as well. My mama don't do nothing. She don't pay no bills. She don't even pump her own gas.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
She don't pump her own gas.
Like when I be at the gas station, I see the man come on. He might be in a whole nother car. He just met her there to pump her gas. I'm like, this is something I really can do.
Never saw it.
But why do I have to?
I ain't gonna say never saw it. Not in my house. Like y'all, it was at some point I was having dreams about men trying to hurt me. That's how far gone. I think this was around the time I was dating women, or I just started back dating men. I can't remember, but I kept having dreams about men trying to stab me, men. It was kept being black men trying to hurt me. But I didn't have good examples. Like even my mother, right? My father. My father cheating on my mother and doing whatever and getting a whole nother family saying fuck this family that he started with. My grandfather was not shit. He used to beat my grandmother. He used to have hoes calling the house. He was not a good man at all. Not a using men just ain't shit. They cheating and shit. He was just not a good man at all. So all the examples I had, for the most part, were bad. Now my uncle, I will say, my auntie is blood, and my uncle was married in. He probably was the only example I've had of a good man. I'm like, oh, okay, it can be good. But the older I got, I did see, despite all the foolishness of the older, generation, my generation of men, most of them in my family are actually good men. Yeah. They were raised like they're actually solid as men.
So your brother's a solid ass man?
Yes, he is. Yeah. Absolutely. My brother's a good ass man.
I agree with that.
A good ass man. Any woman that he finally decides to be with, she's lucky. Yeah. He just gotta finally decide to be with them. Because he's in the space right now. But Yeah, that's the example I had of men. So
See, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, we weren't taught. Like, I did
Yeah.
think about it, and I googled it because I'm like, you say you want to be a wife, but my mother taught me how to be a wife indirectly by watching her. But
right,
it's kind of like there was never a sit down conversation like, this is how you love your man. This is how you support your man. This is, this stuff that I just picked up watching her, and I don't even necessarily know if it was right, just knowing that's what I saw. So it's like, damn, like I gotta learn. Like, if that's what I say I want to do, then that's what I feel like I have to study. And I mean, because nobody knows, we can get married and the shit may or may not work. But I don't want it to be because I had the opportunity to be better and just chose not to be, if that makes sense. Like, some people are married, and I know, and they just be like, really don't give a fuck. And I'm like, why are you in this partnership and you just don't care? And then sometimes I know there's some days, but every day. Like, a lot of people don't really like who they fucking married to. And so when single people are asking them for direction, and I don't think married people understand the role they play, because when single people are asking married people about, marriages, it's so bitter, it's so angry, it's so toxic. You like, I don't even know if I fucking want to do this shit.
hey man,
like,
you single,
like,
stay single.
single.
Stay
And I'm
single.
like,
like marriage is
Oh yeah,
overrated.
enjoy your friend,
Overrated.
enjoy this,
It's
enjoy this life.
like, and I know that there's a double
Wait
sided
a
point to
minute.
both. It's good parts to being single, just like there's a down part to being single, and there's good parts to marriage, just like you have your bad days. But I feel like there are more good than bad. You can equate that, but I'm starting to think a lot of y'all motherfuckers got a lot more bad days than good days. So I'm just saying, like, when we're asking married couples, like, I get that they're bad moments, but you don't know, like, that person may be teetering the fence and they just need that information, and you bitter that day.
But what are you asking married couples?
Like, what is it like? Because we don't. Like,
so I don't. Okay, so now where I am in life,
would you choose this person again? Where you are in life, would you choose this person again? Would you do this shit all over again with this person?
That's the questions you ask.
No, I'm asking. Sometimes I do ask them that. Would you marry that person all over again? Some people, majority of people say, yeah, I would do it all over again because the good days outweigh the bad days. It's kind of like, what? It's the unknown to us. So it's kind of like you're telling single people. Remember, we had that question about why it's so hard. So we're already, we know, we grew up with, even if our parents weren't married, we grew up in a culture of marriage. People were still getting married whether they were happy or not. So our generation knows marriage, but it's like, why are we not getting married? So it has to be a barrier. So if we're asking, it's like the unknown to us. What the fuck are we about to walk into?
I don't think you should act right now, today, advice. Not me years ago. I don't think you should ask married couples about being married, because no marriage is the same, and my experience may not be your experience. So I think it's unfair to yourself to ask somebody, what shit is
That's wild as hell to say.
But for real, no, and I have backup evidence why.
I ask questions like, what have you learned?
Okay,
that's what kind of questions I ask.
Yeah, that's why I asked, like, what are you asking?
It's just like, whatever that person feels comfortable for answering.
Yeah. I ask questions like
that.
No,
those questions are understandable,
so
because
like,
you're just trying to understand what goes on in their marriage. But asking somebody a question about marriage in hopes that it would shed some light for you, I think it's unfair for yourself, because first of all, they probably lying.
I don't think they lying, but they be unhappy.
I mean, you gotta ask them in front of their partner.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, we were at some place drinking something for Twan's birthday this year, and two ladies were next to us, and I'm like, Twan, we're gonna make the best of this, whatever. So we start talking to the ladies, and they was
the best of it. I'm sorry, where were they? Like, they were right here or something?
It was like me and Twan over here, and the two ladies were
okay.
And we were at the bar.
I'm like, oh, okay.
So I was like, we'll make the best of it. Let's talk to the strangers, let's just talk to them. And it was two black ladies. One was 50, and the other lady was, I don't know, she was quite young. So, we was talking, taking shots, laughing, and they were like, oh my God, we just love you guys' relationship. We can tell that you guys are so wonderful. What me and Twan do? This nigga? This nigga?
But see, that's different.
It's like, it's all right, it's cool. It has ups and downs, but people really be out here lying. They be out here lying like their life is just so amazing. So when you say that you meet people and they telling you, you say they're not next to their mate?
Yeah.
They not.
You don't
oh,
necessarily
Yeah, no, I
ask
don't. They don't
missing
really be with
mate.
their
Oh.
mate.
It can be
It's
your
just-
somebody acquaintance you know, or somebody
Yeah.
at work or something like that.
and the
is
question that
married.
gets asked is usually
Yeah.
however the conversation came up. We might have been talking about something in just
Mhm.
something in the conversation. And be like, well, how do you feel about marriage or whatever? Would you do that shit over again? Or did you have more good days and bad days? And how long did the bad days last? Or what was some of the shit that you experienced? Or
Mhm.
just whatever. And it's like, I mean, I still love love. I still believe in marriage. I still want to be married. But I'm just saying, from a single woman, married people aren't selling this shit. Like, it look boring as fuck.
Yeah, don't expect them
motherfuckers
to,
don't go on dates. They don't want to have sex no more. Like, they get real complacent. It's like you stop appreciating the person. And I know, you see a person every day, it breeds complacency. I got that part. But it's like every now and then something should be like a little spark plug. Like, damn, I've been sleeping. Let me. It's just like motherfuckers don't seem happy. So if I'm saying that as a woman who wants to get married, imagine a man seeing this shit and who's debating if he wants to get married. It's like, what the fuck's telling me on that shit? Like,
that's what my advice is. Please don't look at other people's marriage and think that, oh shit, I ain't, because for you know what you gonna do for your man.
Happy marriages though. I listen to this podcast and two of the people are married. One has been married, he's divorced now. One's never got married, so it's 4 of them. The people that are married, when they give it, a lot of men write into the podcast asking about relationships and shit like that, they'll tell them, okay, you're really young, so you might want to, you getting to your money, you might want to, relax. But for the people who are, they might call and say, oh, I got this good woman, but is this another woman that I like, some bullshit like that, right? So let me tell you something I learned. They be like, let me tell you something I learned. If you got a good woman, like, hold on to her. Like, the marriage, I understand, they was like, it can be a lot of trials and tribulations, but they was like, it's so rewarding, like, when you get that good woman. Like, they was like, and you realize, like, some people that you knew was a good woman, but you fucked off on her or whatever. They was like, it really is, you build that person. They give them real ass advice.
right.
But they talk about marriage, and of course they're in the marriage on the podcast, but they talk about marriage in a great light. So I think it can be great for some people. They don't say, oh, it's all sunshine and rainbows all the time, right?
But life ain't
But I don't want you to look at a marriage and be like, because you said, oh, they're not selling well. Like, don't let that
I'm saying
discourage
if I was coming from an ignorant standpoint of not knowing, like, I know that there are happy marriages. I've seen them in my family. My parents are happy now. And so
it takes people a long time to get there.
So I see that. So I don't question if it exists. It's just like, because I know the difference. I know that it does. But for like somebody like Shantis who says, I've never seen, this, or from a man, I've never seen this. It's kind of like, if you're the only married person that I see, and you're the only married person I can ask, and I ask you and you bitter today or most days.
Yeah.
It's kind of,
that's what I'm saying. Don't let that shit deter you, because you know what, our culture is all about
everybody. I think it depends on the person. Like, I don't know. I just think it just depends on the people, because I see a lot of marriages go downhill very fast.
No, I'm just saying, don't let anybody be different for you. Yeah. Like, if you see if you talk to somebody and that day they happen to be bitter, don't let that deter you from being married.
Because I'm about to say, there can be good examples. Yeah. Okay, so although I didn't see it growing up, right, my mother did find ultimately a good man. Mm-hmm. A good man. And they balance each other out. And I love him to death. Like, and I love him for her. Like, it's just... And it took a while.
Yeah.
They have the same name, guys. My mom and her husband have the same name, so they have the same last name, so they always be like,
oh, damn.
It gets confusing. But yes, it just like, it took her a while. I seen her go through a lot of bullshit that I just hated for her, because she's such a good person, a beautiful person. But she finally found
and maybe that's why you can bounce back like that.
No, that's what I'm saying. When you've seen the good and not just the bad, you're able to decipher that. Okay, this person may not be in the best headspace today. They might just argue with their partner, and you ask them this question, and it might have been for them to reflect on them. You never know your role in anybody's life and why conversations have come up. Because I'm to that place of maturity where I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna hold that in. It's a piece of information, but I'm move on. Right. But I just know that everybody is not in that space. So
we were having my husband and I were having a conversation about like people ready to get married, and I'm just like, people these days in this time, their marriage is probably going to be a little different because they're actually ready. They're like, hey, I'm ready. A couple friends that said, I'm ready to settle down. I'm ready to stop doing all this. I'm looking for somebody.
This shit get old. Like,
When you older, especially when you older,
like it's
they ready.
Single life has its perks. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie to you. I appreciate looking back that I was single majority of my 20s. I really enjoyed that, but I'm to a different space now. And I'm like,
Completely
you know what
different
you
space.
want.
Yeah.
Most
You know
people
what
know
you
what they
want.
want. See, I had to figure out who I
And
was.
it
I had
takes
to
guys
grow up.
longer to mature, guys. I think their average mature was it 41 or 43 or something when a guy matures. That's the average guy. Yeah, that's the average.
I had to find myself while I was married.
So yeah, it takes.
they
a while.
said they mature
The guy-
every 5 years. Like, I mean,
a
like,
little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit more every 5 years. I said that's the gap.
They say when they reach their mature,
So,
like,
like-
I guess they ultimate maturity.
Yeah.
At that age.
It's like it's a
No, because it's
no.
some nigga 60 still playing.
No,
games.
no.
Well, yeah, average.
Yeah.
Average.
It's-
Some
oh.
people reach it younger.
Yeah.
Some people reach
So
it
no,
younger.
they didn't say like to the ultimate level of maturity. They just say it's
Right.
for them to notice a significant change in the alter
Right.
in their life is usually for them every 5 years. And I'm like, I'm not
Yeah.
even the same Keisha. You dated me last
Yeah.
year and date me again this year. I don't even
I'll
want to
say
say
that
shit.
the guy I'm dating is, well, he's older.
Yeah, that's my point.
He's older, so he knows what he wants,
much older?
and a good bit older. A good
Yeah.
bit older.
Yeah,
Like a good bit, and I like it though.
yeah.
I like that.
You just get tired of the game.
I like you get tired, and you get older, and you like, I'm tired.
and that's what I was.
And we in our big old 30s, like
Yeah.
we're in our big old 30s, and it's still been playing games. It's just crazy to me in our 30s.
Like, I just want to do
All
that
this
shit.
life we've
Do
been
that
through?
shit get tiring to them? Like,
No.
You don't want to
it got
stop
to.
and find somebody to settle that and enjoy life with.
My brother's
You wanna keep
27,
playing?
28. He said he was ready to find him somebody and just quit playing.
You
He
said
said-
what?
My brother's 27, 28 winning numbers, and he told me he was like, I'm ready for a family. I was like, oh okay.
See, here's the thing too. What I learned about
That's what I'm saying.
what
Some
I
people-
what I learned about certain men, like because of the type of man that your brother is, he's a very visionary. He's very entrepreneur, like business wise. It will not shock me if he reaches $1 million or more, like be a millionaire. Is what I'm saying. So when you get to a certain place in life, they think differently. Things have to be a little more stable for them.
Yeah.
They don't have the time to run from hole to hole. Like it's
Oh,
just,
he been hoeing.
no, I'm saying
Oh.
no, which is why he probably said
All right.
no, which is why he probably said that he was ready because
Yeah.
it starts to take a lot of energy. I gotta please this bitch today.
Yeah.
This bitch want my time on
Men
Tuesday.
that really understand
yeah,
that,
like
that
you
are
got
really,
a
they
vision.
like,
You
hell
like,
no.
no, I'm not gonna do
I'm
that.
not
Like,
doing all this for all these women.
And
like,
they getting in
it's
the
too
way
much
'cause
energy.
every woman got her own set, and we don't come with small minimum. Even the bitches with more small shit still want a lot of shit. So we want your time, and if you ain't got that time,
At times.
Time is one thing he doesn't have.
yeah,
so
and that's the
sharing that with
thing.
a lot of
So you
bitches
need to,
is
and
crazy.
but it's gonna be important for who he chooses as his mate to understand it, to understand who she's getting, because time is not gonna always be there. He's not gonna always be that person.
This has nothing to do with marriage. Well, I guess it does because you get. Anyway, it's okay. So I recently heard that somebody said men make such good side niggas. They said women don't make good side bitches, but men make good side niggas because they understand their role. They like, all right, if the nigga call me, I play my role. It's like women always want to be the one, and they was like that. I know that's so random. I just thought,
But
about
no,
that.
not in this day and age,
But
because
it
women
was
know how
like-
to play their position.
But I'm like,
No.
some.
Well,
That's because she
Well, some
probably
men
has,
jump out of
no,
line,
that's
too.
probably what the
Yeah.
other piece of that too is a lot of women give up their exclusivity. She's your side chick, but she has no side nigga.
Yeah.
You're usually the only one she's talking to. Is why she
Yeah.
feel that way. Because if she got other ones and you ain't checking, she off to the other nigga who is. So that's the thing. Women start giving up y'all exclusivity to somebody.
Did we
who
tell
ain't
y'all that before?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, because when you focus on one person, you call and you trying to figure out where they at, what they doing, and he off with the other bitch. Not to be rude and say that, but that men know how to multi-date. They really do, and they're very good at it. Women have a very hard time in this arena. That's why I don't always believe.
I don't like.
You know,
I don't like that. Some men, a lot of men think that. Okay, women aren't naturally built to have multiple partners and play the game like men are, right? But they think no woman is capable of doing
She
it.
is.
Like
We
a lot
are.
of people I hear say, I'm like,
Yeah.
they think no woman is
it
capable.
requires a certain part of her. She had to.
I'm
come out some
like,
emotions.
yes, there are women. Like I have been that woman
I
that
have
don't
been that
give a
woman
damn.
too.
Like I can just have, if that's just our relate, I could just do that. Like, I've been that woman before. So I'm like, everybody's not wired. Okay, it's the part for me is when men pretend they want more and then they try to play you. Now, if we establish that this is just a sexual thing, that's cool. But I know some women get attached. I'm not that woman. Like, if we establish that's what that was or whatever.
I have to have strict boundaries in order to do it. Like, I do.
But I don't like when men play that part and pretend they want more and don't say, hey, this is what this is.
I just
and now
want the pink draws.
Exactly. And that's what makes us like, what the fuck? Yeah. That's what makes us involved and attached and all these things. Because you gave me all this and you said, there's potential, right? And you weren't honest.
Honestly, I kind of think that they want to. Like, they want to do it that they want to do it that way, because when a woman is emotionally connected, she will do what she don't have to be with you. She just needs to be emotionally connected, and I think men know that because she plays the role as a girlfriend and wife, so they get these benefits and they get to do whatever they want to do with minimal ass effort. And she's playing the role of a girlfriend and wife, and you can have 3 bitches doing the same shit, and he all talking to bitch number 5. Like, it's just the way that they move, and that's why I said we cannot give up your exclusivity, and that's emotionally being invested when he has not emotionally invested in you.
Damn, I just thought, but I forgot it.
And that's why I don't believe. It's not that I don't believe that polyamory is real. I believe that majority of the women
It just makes me laugh
who do it only do it for the comfort of the man, because women are not we are not meant to share. We don't do that well. You can see when besides bitches, the hoe he fucked the night before in another city, telling on these athletes that they know he was married. If she knew her role, she would have played her role. But the bitch got some kind of way. So if you decide, bitch, in another
bitches love
city,
coming to you.
that's what I'm saying.
As a woman,
they
love coming to you.
Woman to woman.
Bitches love coming to you as a woman.
Let you know. That woman know her man cheating.
Bitch, I already knew.
She know.
Yeah.
She was like, now she might have been hoping your ass. That's what I'm saying. Like, tell her ain't gonna go down that road. Niggas I can cheat and broke, but that's neither here nor there.
Keisha, you can go that road.
I'm just saying. Okay. But women do not do well. There's no way I can be in the same house with you in my room, and I know you upstairs fucking another bitch that's your sister wife. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Do the sister wives fuck each other?
Some of them might join in, but they don't have to. They're actually like, sometimes they're actually separate relationships. Like, he could sleep with her tonight and court her tonight, take her on a date.
We just have our own community.
And you think I'm gonna be at home with the kids and you taking another bitch on a date?
I'm not with it. I don't like sharing. I do not like sharing when I'm in love and care about someone else.
Ain't that illegal in the U.S. today?
Not in some states. In Idaho, I think that's where they shot Sister Wives in Idaho. He was happy.
That's where they shot.
I forgot about that.
It's still.
I ain't no Sister Wife, so don't try me. End up in the dirt.
Ooh, Keisha.
I think this is a great place.
No, it's not. Shit, did you have another question? We got time. Move along.
So this is a great place.
You have another
you don't want to end on that?
No. I know. I meant what I said.
You can say it for the next episode now.
Shit,
Okay.
Don't give up your exclusivity. Don't give up your exclusivity.
Okay. Okay.
Date around.
And when you're dating, please have every man or woman accounted for.
This might take too long.
Because you don't want fatal attraction to happen. We don't know who killed you.
That escalated quickly.
We got 10 minutes.
Shit, just right here. Just focus.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Anyway, whatever. Do y'all believe that? No, that's not the one. Do you feel like you can love 2 people at once?
Yes.
Successfully? In love, not just I'm still have love for that person always. No. And do you believe you can truly be in love with 2 people at once? Hold on. It's a loaded question here. What do you do when you're so do you believe you can be in love with 2 people at once? And what do you do when you're married? I feel like I talked about this like a long time ago with somebody. What do you do if you're married or in like a long-term relationship or whatever? And up until then, you're in love, whatever, you feel like you're happy, whatever. And then you meet somebody and it just ignites something. Not like
it's temporary. Sorry.
I was gonna say not necessarily temporary, not like a like a lust kind of thing. Like maybe somebody that you know deeply, like a coworker or something like that, and you just get to know them, and
It's temporary.
and you know everything
Yeah.
about them, and
Been there,
it's
done
like
that. It's temporary.
and you feel like I love this. Do you believe that?
It's
No,
temporary.
I don't think. I don't think it's love.
I see what you're saying. Too.
I think it's that the person offers what your mate doesn't, so it stands
At
out
that
more.
time,
feel like you just
yeah,
feel
like
that.
you know, like
Yeah.
you said, you get complacent, the same
Cause-
old,
yeah.
same old, same old.
Because your man could be offering you everything, but that one thing, and that one person offer you that one
and then
thing.
and then your man could be offering you everything, and that person is just new. Like if it's just new, anything new for somebody is
it ain't
exciting.
shiny and new.
Yeah, it's
Of
like
course,
what? You know, I felt myself. And I'm like, girl,
I don't think you can be
No.
in love with two people at the same time.
Okay.
Not successfully.
Because for you to get to the second person, something in the first one had to dwindle to me.
so
For you to even allow yourself to
completely
be
in love
open.
with that person.
Yeah.
one.
I think you may have love for a person, and but to be like, say, I can't choose. I'm in love with both.
What's up to my brother? My brother said he
People
loved
really
two
be out here doing that too.
My brother said he was in love with two people at the same time.
No, but
He was in two full relationships at the
See, this is what I'm
same
talking
time.
about. This is what I'm talking about right here.
He was in two full relationships, and I said, "You really love both of them?" He said, "Yeah, I really love both of them." And
no, he may have really loved them. He wasn't in love with both of them.
Not in love.
No,
but you know how
At
it
one point
ended?
I thought that was true, but then when I really thought about it, I'm like,
No,
One
no,
always
not
ranks
in
higher.
love.
yeah, because
Like if I completely in love with this person, nobody can come in and I just fall in love with
you
them
don't even
without
have that guard
losing
open.
some of this.
But what if
over
you
here
are
on this
dating
side.
with two people? See, on Good Trouble. Ooh, let's go
No,
back to Good Trouble.
We ain't got time.
No,
Yeah,
no,
he should
no,
go
no,
back to the damn show.
this is really hitting what we're talking about. They're not exclusively dating. So at the moment, the girl has the guy that she's dating is bisexual, and then she has a lawyer friend, and it's kind of they come on at the same time. But technically, you're right. It's not going to happen because she's more so leaning towards the bisexual guy than the lawyer guy. But and same thing with him. He has a guy and he has her. And he's leaning more towards the girl, but he loves them both. He likes them both, but the girl.
But they're not. He's not fully in love with them.
Nah, he is. So it's not. I don't think it's possible.
I don't think it's possible either to be fully like.
And if you're
Again,
that
for you to
person,
fall for somebody else or be in love with that, you have to have lost
some type of
Yeah, because they got
to
to arguing, and then she went with the lawyer dude.
You ever
Okay.
you ever seen a woman that really loves her man?
Oh,
Like a nigga at the gas station can't shake that beat.
y'all, when y'all do right by y'all women, men,
We ain't
speaking of
going
you,
no.
And she really
they not
love
going
him.
nowhere.
He's
Just
like,
do
your man
right
only
by
care
us.
for
You
no,
ain't gotta
my man only be
Don't think we out here talking to niggas? Yeah. And niggas always throwing dick at you. That's
Yeah.
always gonna happen.
Always, you can
Every woman, I don't care how you look, some niggas gonna be throwing dick.
You can just get your teeth pulled with this shit in there and drooling. The man trying to talk to you, writing you on a piece of paper. Trying to talk to you, writing on a piece of paper.
It doesn't matter.
Married? Many are.
Yes. Y'all, men are gonna try to talk to us. It doesn't matter. But when you're doing right by that woman and that woman is madly in love with you, can't nothing shake that. We don't give a damn. We don't see shit.
Nobody. We don't even see
We
our
don't see
family.
nothing.
We will forsake the family
hear
for
me?
you.
We don't see nothing.
We ain't getting involved with nobody. We don't
Yeah.
got no side, nothing.
That's why I
So
said
we
so.
playing games.
I've never
Y'all
heard.
gotta make sure y'all doing right. It be y'all that's not doing right to be insecure.
Come on now.
But okay.
Yeah.
Let's,
But that's what I'm saying. And I know that there are women who say that, but I mean, as far as being in love with two people, well, Jasmine Sullivan made a whole song about it. But I'm just like, I have personally never heard of one.
But Jasmine, so even with the song
She was
made,
starting to feel a
she
certain
was
way.
saying, honestly, I don't think she was saying I'm fully in love with both of y'all. I think she was saying
I can't love you because
I can't love you because I'm in love with this bum ass nigga.
Yeah, that's exactly
And
what she was
I'm
saying.
sorry.
See, that's another example. You can be the bomb
Of the earth.
of the earth, and if she is in love with you, she said, I know you're a good man,
Somewhere
and you
deep
will
down
be good
inside.
for somebody
Yeah.
else, but
Yeah.
not because I'm in love
With another man.
with this sucky ass man.
He ain't look. He,
He
don't
don't
always treat me right.
You know what?
But something about that man.
She loves.
She
That's
loves
a
him.
damn shame. And
Do
on
something
that
to her.
note, people, we are on YouTube at SJ Podcast. Catch us on Twitter, Instagram, and the Facebook at SJ Podcast. Until then, peace.
And tell your friends about all your hoes.
Okay.